All right.
Hi, everyone. Dr. Sable-Mentine here with Dr. David Rice. We are from Ignite DDS/Ignite Predent, and we're here to help you out with your predental needs. So today we are actually going to be talking about the keys to success for interviews. So we all know that right now you're in the middle of interviews and getting ready, or have already been on a few. And so we're just here to kind of help you out with that process. And, we'd love for you to comment below and see if, with any questions and stuff like that for us to answer, and we can help you out. And let's start talking about stuff.
Let's do it.
So, Dr. Rice, I was wondering, I know that you have a lot of encounters with big CEOs, but then also, dental students and, all different types of people. And how do you make your first impression with them?
So I'll tell you, one of the things I think that's really important for everyone to remember is we only get 7 seconds. So there's 86,400 seconds in a day, and there's 30 million in a year, but we only get 7 to make that first impression. So for me, what I know is, a lot of people talk about, and you know this, you have to dress well, obviously, but the most important thing that we can bring to the table is a great smile. Like, your facial expression is the very first thing people notice, don't you think?
That is true. That's why it's a good field to be in too.
Yeah, this is you guys are all in the right spot. Yeah, but so facial expression really is the first thing people notice. And the second thing people notice is your body language. So is your body language portraying confidence? Is it portraying that you're nervous or you're anxious? That's not great. The other thing that's not great is if it's portraying that you're arrogant or you're cocky. Those are equally as bad as being super nervous or afraid. So we want to be confident. We want to be upbeat. We want to be excited. We want to let every program know that they're the program for you. That's what we want to hear on an admissions committee. But what would you say, Sable? What would you add?
I mean, I would even add, I remember hearing this once, where keep your, when you hold your feet together, keep them a little bit open like that, because it just shows that you are a more open and inviting person. And also just, how you were saying how you stand and everything, don't be standing like that, because that's just going to show that you're closed off. And that's not the type of people, that you want to be, not only just your dental student that you work with, but also as a clinician in the future.
I totally agree. And, like you were showing, don't do this, keeping your hands down by your side, but your hands are open, or this is a really good posture to have. You want to have your shoulders nice and relaxed. And that shows people that that you're confident, that you feel like you belong. And all of you should know that if you're in an interview, you have an equally great shot at getting into a program as everybody else. It's not that your grades and your board scores don't matter, but if you're sitting in that interview room, you're just as amazing as everybody else in that room. And it's your time to shine. And that's what you want to show us on admissions committees.
That's true. And even something as minor as a handshake is also super important. And I know I've practiced my handshakes with Dr. Rice. So,
yeah,
you don't want to be that little weakling.
Don't give the dead fish and don't break fingers.
That's what it is that you say, the dead fish.
We've all had it, right? And you're like, oh, man.
Oh, did I crush it? I don't know.
Yeah. So, and what? Just curious, what do you do? What happens if that happens?
I mean, if that happens, I just try. Sometimes I'll it kind of depends on the situation. I make a little joke out of it and, just be like, hey, let's have a stronger one there. Or but not something to make them feel bad or anything like that. But, just be like, come on, I'm tougher than that, especially as a girl, they're like, oh, let me be nice. But I want to show that confidence in that firm handshake.
I love that, because you know what? Both people feel it, right? When we have that awkward handshake, everybody knows it.
Yeah.
And if you're not saying something and the person on the receiving end isn't saying something, then you're both just going to feel weird. So I love what you just said, to be able to just address it. Doesn't have to be anything crazy, but making a little joke and be like, come on, I love that. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, and something else, on a different kind of path of what you should always do when you go in for an interview is check out the mission statement of the school. They have that posted on their main website, and you want to understand what that school stands for and make sure that you fit in that category, or not category, but in that mindset as well. And also try and, reach out to students who are already there and get accommodated with the schools, different things that they do. Are they lecture based? Are they PBL based? Do they have a lot of clinic time? Do they have specialties present there? Like, there's so many different things that can make a school a certain way that it is that might be better or worse for you. So I don't know if you have anything to add to that, but.
No, I like that. I love that concept. I mean, doing your homework, doing a little research before you go in goes a long way, because every dental school is a little bit different. Everyone has a little bit different focus, and you want to be able to speak to the focus of each school individually, not, as dental schools in general. I think you hit it right on the head.
Cool. So let's move on to our next bullet point, which is what should we never do? David actually came up with a really good line that I really enjoyed hearing, and I think you guys should remember this. So would you like to share that?
Sure. So you always want to be the person who lights up the room when you walk in, not when you walk out. You want people to be drawn to you. You want to be magnetic. You want people to feel a connection with you. The worst thing to do is be the person who nobody really wants to be around, and they're happier when you leave.
Exactly. So you don't want to be that Debbie Downer or anything like that. So, that's a good way, again, of making that first impression, because that's going to allow you to become that person that lights up the room.
So what else? You were bringing up a couple never do's, things that I never even imagined people would do, but I know you speak with a lot of people on admissions committees, so you hear some stories.
Yeah, so one of them is maintain your professionalism. So don't ever forget to do that, because no matter where you are in the school or on the outside of the school after, or mainly after and during your interview, you want to be sure that you're still showing the best you. Some things that I've heard and I've seen is, you go in for the interview, you're with the faculty and all that stuff, and then you have the tour with the students. And then all of a sudden, with the students, you start asking these, crazy questions like, I don't know, where's the best bars at and stuff like that, or whatever. I mean, I get it. Like, you still need to, be cool, but is that really your main concern in picking a school? And, you don't want to ask any questions that would make someone not want to have you as their classmate, because that's also super important, because students can report back to admissions and, give their say. Another crazy story I heard was someone who went literally right outside the school after their interview in front of a do not smoke sign or smoke free campus and lit up a cigarette. And it's like, come on. And then they proceeded to go out to their car and start changing in the open. It's not what's going to get you into that school, and you're always being observed. There's cameras everywhere, stuff like that. So, just be smart about what you do and make sure that you portray yourself as a professional, and even, cleaning up your Facebook. That's a big thing, because people do look a lot on social media, and admissions offices do that. So, make sure that your profile picture isn't you, chugging out of that red cup, because it's not necessarily something that's going to portray you in the best way.
Yeah, it's a really good point. You never know who that person is, who's either in front of you or the left of you or the right of you. So you may think it's cool to have a casual conversation about social stuff with other students who are there, but you just don't know who they are yet. So, keep those conversations in check. Wait till you're off campus, have them sort of, offline, and wait till you get your yes and you're admitted. And then, you can let your hair down a little bit and breathe again.
Exactly. And, and also just, one more quick thing about what to never do is never forget to follow up. You definitely, sometimes schools will tell you, hey, we know that you're going to follow up, so please just do so through an email. We're totally fine with that. We're not going to judge you. So listen to them. That's good. They're trying to help you out. But I always liked to follow up, especially if it was a school that I really, really, really wanted to go to, follow up with an email. I would do it right when you get into the car. After you're done, as soon as possible, because you're just, time's going to pass and you're going to forget. And so doing that, and then maybe you might want to add a letter. I gave a tour at, when I was in dental school, and I got a letter from one of the students that I gave a tour to. And I was shocked, now that you have to go that far. But, it was just a very nice gesture that I was totally not expecting. And so, just that touch really makes a big difference.
Yeah, can I add an always do to your never do? Because I like where you're headed with this. What you just pointed out is really important, and that's to be memorable. So, as you're following up, point out something specific to whomever it is that interviewed you or gave you a tour, or any components of that. Find that one moment where you really felt like you had a connection. And then when you follow up, talk about that one component. It doesn't have to be a generic, hey, thanks for having me, really enjoyed this. That's the introduction. But, it can be, thanks for having me, really enjoyed that part of the conversation when we were talking about, and then just describe it in a sentence or two. That's how you're going to stay in somebody's mind. Because when you leave that interview process, you're not the only one who's there. So you want people who interviewed you fighting for you as that pile of interviewees gets looked over. So I love that follow-up. I think that's really important.
Are you sure you didn't get that from my presentation? Because that's what I say all the time.
Is it really good? I'm learning. I'm learning. So we've got one more topic too here. How to prepare. And, I know you have built a really cool program for all of our pre-dents, Dr. Sable. So tell us, what's the best way to prepare?
So something that we would love to offer any dental school, any pre-dental ASDA chapter, any pre-dental honor society, whatever, is the opportunity for us to come to your school. We would love to come to one of your meetings, or set up a whole day event where we can have a bunch of our speakers come in and discuss topics like these, hold mock interviews, talk about how to apply through ADSAS and get through that whole, system, tips and tricks. We're here for you. And, we've all been dental students. And so we all have something to say, or are still surrounded by people that can help you. And we have these resources because all we want to do is share them with you and see you succeed. So, honestly, just as simple as reaching out to us, and, either through a private message, you can, or message me, message Dr. Rice, comment on this video so that we can come to your school. And we have some prizes and stuff for you guys. So, it would just be a wonderful opportunity for us to introduce ourselves and see how we can help you. Because like I said, that's all we want to do.
Yeah, I like that. So I would echo that sentiment and just share with you all that, having been in dentistry for 23 years now and meeting a lot of successful people in all walks of life, I really know that there's really two types of people. There are those of you who are going to kind of sit back and for whatever reason choose not to do anything different than you had already planned on doing. And there's going to be a smaller percentage of you who actually go out and get it. Getting into dental school is a difficult thing. It's a hard road, but there's a system to it. It's a game you can win. You have to understand the rules of how to play and how to win the game. And we would love to help you guys. So we wish you the best of luck.
That we do. And again, comment below. We're more than happy to be there for you too. So
Yeah.
thank you, Dr. Rice. And we are actually getting ready to give a talk in Orlando in not this week, but next week. So like I said, we're everywhere. So let us come to see you.
Thanks for having me, Dr. Sable. Good talking to you.
Bye.
Cheers.